sunrise. As women, we sometimes go through some high highs and some very low lows when it comes to our emotional well-being. And some days we feel like we can't go on because the pressures of life are just too heavy. In studio with us to speak on these things, we actually have Krystal Chong, and she's the author of the motivational book, What the Hell Am I Supposed to Do With My Life? And of course, she's here today to help us recognize when we are getting that depression bug and it's trying to get us down, and how it is that we can navigate and get over it and be a-okay. Right. Good morning! Good morning!
Listen, this bundle of energy in the morning.
I know, I don't know where she gets it from, but this is Krystal all the time, all the time. All right, well, so we're going to talk about depression and anxiety and how it is that we deal with it. So you wrote this book, so automatically you have the proper know-how too in order to help us navigate through it, or persons who, out there who are suffering from it. So tell us about how it is, the depression mode, getting out of it, and how it is that we can cope.
Okay, so the reason that I'm speaking about this issue is because, well, I am an anxious kind of gal.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Yeah. But clinically speaking, I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder when I was like 14, which just means that my natural biochemical makeup predisposes me to being like anxious all the time. And so people explain it as like living in a constant state of anxiety, which sounds like really intense, but it really is. The thing is that anxiety and depression are two separate things, but they're very related. Because if you're anxious all the time, you know, if you're constantly like worrying about something or thinking that this bad thing is going to happen and trying to prepare for it not to happen and constantly like living like this, then like after a while your body just gets depressed from like living in that state. And so you get depressed. And so for me, that was my experience with anxiety and depression. And because I didn't really know how to manage it, because it's not something that we speak about openly in Jamaica, I didn't really know what to do. And, you know, like you look at someone, you have no idea what's going on in their mind. So I just figured that this was like a normal state of being. And so because I didn't have the tools, it got worse. And then when I was 26 and I was going through this thing where I was trying to figure out what it really was that I wanted to do with my life, like the combination just got really bad, and I hit a real low. And it was really bad. And, you know, I talk about it in my book, but I remember for a second I thought, it's so hard to live like this. Like I remember having heard of someone who had committed suicide, and I was like, why would anyone do that? That's crazy. And I remember for a second that night when things were really bad, I was like, the thought came into my mind for literally a split second, like, you could escape these feelings if you killed yourself. And as soon as I had that thought, I was like, what the hell are you saying to yourself? Like, this is insane. And the second I had that thought, I was like, no, this is enough. Now I have to do something about this. And as soon as I thought I have to do something about this, then the answer started coming into my life. And you know, last time I was here, I told you guys I went on a journey of figuring out what it was that I wanted to do with my life. And through that journey, I learned ways of managing my anxiety and my depression and living peacefully with myself and, you know, finding my own fulfillment on my own. And, you know, the reason that I wanted to talk to people about it was because through those things that I've used to manage my anxiety and my depression, I have not had a major depression since that day 8 years ago. Thank God, because that was not fun. And I was on medication for anxiety for a while, and I haven't been on it for over 3 years.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and I'm even like exponentially happier than I was even when I was on the medication. Not to say that medication is a bad thing or that, you know, people shouldn't take medication, but I personally just never wanted to be dependent on something like that. Exactly. And you know, also like being on medication sort of tones you down, but it also like limits like your life that you feel. It sort of like numbs you. And I'm just somebody who wants to like really experience like, you know, life. So that's my background. In case you're like, who the hell is this person talking to me about anxiety and depression? And I have a couple of things that I want to share.
Sure, go ahead.
So the first thing is, you know, our bodies are like really one big chemical reaction happening like all the time, right? And so based on what you put into your body, that's what you put into the chemical equation. So what you put in is what you're going to get out. So what you eat is a big factor of how you feel. And, you know, I think that there's an aspect of it that we're not aware of. Like you think, oh my God, if I eat an Oreo cookie, like I'm gonna feel good.
Yeah, because it's happy food and ice cream is happy food. Are you saying no happy food?
Yeah, it's happy food for like 15 minutes or maybe even 5, and then it's really sad food after that. And then you need some more happy food, and then it's like a big downhill snowball forever.
When it comes to your weight and everything else that comes with that.
Well, it does. It sort of obviously, you know, it plays an impact in how you feel about yourself based on how you look. But it actually affects, like when you eat something, it affects what like hormones you produce, which affects how you feel. And so, what I recommend for people, you know, there's some basics. Like for me, I love coffee. I used to drink like 5 cups a day.
Wow.
I cannot drink coffee anymore. I never drink coffee. I can't even drink decaf. I was at lunch the other day, and my dad and my brother were like drinking this like nice boom. I could smell it, and I was like, but coffee is a big anxiolytic. Obviously, because you know it like perks you up, but if you have anxiety, like you know, you need a little soothing, not a little stimulation. You know what I'm saying?
So, what are some of the alternatives that you'd recommend?
So what I recommend for this is obviously a lot of vegetables and water is good. A lot of like natural food. It's really good to do what humans were meant to do, because I think what people forget is that humans are animals. We have evolved in the natural world. Not because we're also intelligent and created these things means that you know, that doesn't have an impact on us. So what I recommend for each person is to do a food and mood journal. Just try it for a week.
What is it? What is the food
so what you do is you say Monday, if you're going to eat something, you write how you feel before. I feel hungry. I feel anxious. I feel tired. You write what you eat. I ate a banana. I ate eggs and bacon. I ate, you know, whatever you ate. And then write 20 minutes after or 30 minutes after how you feel.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I did this recently, and I was really surprised. Because people sort of, like, you sort of assume that how you feel is how you feel immediately after.
Yeah.
But you don't take into account how it makes you feel half an hour after, which is how your body reacts after you've processed it. And the reason that this is really helpful is because for me, I was like crazy chocolate lover, like problematic level of crazy chocolate lover. And I realized that I felt really high, like, you know, 3 minutes after I ate it, and I felt good, and that's why I was eating it so much, because I wanted to feel good. And then 30 minutes later, like, I felt really anxious, and I started to have a crash. But what's nice about it is that you associate the feeling of eating the chocolate with that anxious feeling. So it's not like you think, I have to stop eating chocolate. You think you associate a negative feeling with the chocolate, so you don't want to eat it anymore, which actually helps me diet better, because I don't have to be like, don't eat chocolate. I have to like, I think about how it makes me feel, and then I'm like, oh my God, I don't want chocolate.
I'm going to try that with ice cream.
Oh yeah. But it also, you can't just make a note, you have to write it, because when you write it, your brain processes it in a different way that you experience it more deeply.
And you can go back. You can go back and look at it, how, you know, these made me feel last week.
Yeah. And you can see the trends, and you can also see what food makes you feel really good and energized.
Yeah.
So you can decide how you want to feel. If you want to feel energized, if you want to feel relaxed, like what kinds of things to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, the link between depression and what you eat, and anxiety and what you what you eat. That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
So another thing is your lifestyle. So again, like, you know, we have to figure out what is natural for our bodies the way we have evolved. And, you know, it's really, okay, the world is a wonderful, I'm really happy to be living at this time. I feel very blessed. You know, there's so many things happening in the world. We have access to so much that humans didn't have access to. We can do so much. We can reach so much. It's wonderful. But there's a drawback because, you know, it's very unnatural for our bodies. It's really important for us to balance our lifestyle. You know, we sit in a concrete box, and we work in a concrete box, and we drive in, not a concrete box, but a box. And we sit at a computer, and that's to a large extent why we feel depressed, because we're not getting the stimulation that our bodies were meant to get. So what really works for me is getting 20 minutes of sunlight in the morning, especially for depression, because it gives you vitamin D, which is really what you need to process the hormones that your body needs to sort of like feel good and relaxed. And without that, that's when you start to feel depressed, when you have that deficiency. exercise is a massive, massive thing. You know, like even if I'm feeling down, if I exercise, like literally immediately after, I'll feel good. And sort of like integrating it as a part of your life. So not just I'm going to go for a walk once a month, but something regularly. And if you can do that with friends, it's a bonus because, you know, humans like evolved in communities. And we've evolved in a way that we're so self-sufficient, but we still need that interaction with people that we're not getting, which, you know, we're on social media all the time, so we think we are, but it's not what we actually need. Like, you need a hug, you need a physical presence, you need eye contact, you know? So that's a big thing. This next thing I'm going to tell you guys about is like my favorite thing.
Okay.
Do we have time now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, so I'm a big like science junkie. I like to figure out how things work. I could never just do something because someone tells me to do it. Like, and I want to figure out, why am I doing that? How is it working? How is it going to be effective? Okay, I'll do it or not. You know what I mean? There's this thing which I call basically outsmarting your brain chemistry. So I love to understand why we do the things the way that we do them, because that helps me to figure out like how I can change best, you know? So basically, the reason that people, like, you know, this problem I'm talking about, a lot of people have this problem. And I'm surprised, even after launching my book, I'm surprised about how many people are reaching out to me telling me that you wouldn't think how they're struggling with these issues. And the reason that we're so anxious is because when you think an anxious thought, the part of your brain that an anxious thought activates produces adrenaline, right? So it feels good. And that's because, like, you know, when we evolved, like, when something was scary, like if there's a tiger or something and you had a lot of adrenaline because you had an anxious thought, then you survived because you were like, oh, I'm going to get out of here. So that's just part of how we're made, and it's really good to accept it because that's why we're here. That's why we've survived. But today in this world, it's not as relevant. So when you think an anxious thought, and this can get a little complicated, so I'm going to ask you guys to stay with me on this. When you think an anxious thought, the part of your brain that it activates is the amygdala, and that produces adrenaline, which makes you feel good. It makes your body feel good. Like, you don't feel good thinking the anxious thought, but your body feels alive and it feels energized. So that's why we do it so often, because it sort of feels good to our body. When you think, I don't want to think this anxious thought, stop thinking this anxious thought. The part of your brain that activates doesn't produce any feel-good chemicals. Yeah.
Of course.
So I know, right?
Of course.
So we're biologically incentivized to think anxious thoughts, which is crazy. And it sounds depressing. It is a little bit, but there's an upside.
Tell us.
Oh my God, you guys are saying? There's only one part of your brain that's activated by a certain type of thought that produces more feel-good chemicals than that part of your brain that's activated by thoughts of anxiety. Do you guys know what type of thought that is? I can guess. Guys, I want you guys to guess.
I'm not going to say it. Tell me.
I'm asking out because I'm really curious about what you're thinking. It's the part of your brain that's activated by thoughts of gratitude.
That was what I was thinking.
But it's very interesting that you say that, because it's the same thing I was saying to somebody the other day, that the more you are grateful for whatever it is that you have done, the more you feel better about it. And people don't get it. It's not just about just saying, oh, thank you, after somebody has done it and you don't mean it. When it is that you mean it and you're very grateful and you show gratitude, automatically I think everything is just better and things just start happening better. And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
Oh yeah, but you know what for me was wonderful about this? It's like everyone, you know, like you're growing up, they're saying, you'll be grateful for this, you have this to be grateful for, you should be grateful and you'll be happy. And you're like, okay, yeah. The thing is, actually thinking a grateful thought right now changes the biochemical reactions in your body, which makes you feel immediately different. So for me, for instance, if I'm feeling really, really anxious about something, and I engage like what I call a guided gratitude meditation, which I'll tell you guys about, it literally works faster than like Xanax. Like honestly, in like 30 seconds, you can feel completely different. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how to do that.
Tell us, please.
Okay. So for me, I developed a sort of system, right? Because, you know, everyone, if you know me, if anybody who knows me knows that I'm a little anxious kind of person. And so I've been told at least twice on a daily basis that you need to relax. Come back. They're like, you need to relax. And through my whole life, people say, you should do meditation or you should do yoga. But the thing is, like, I think for some people that works, but for some people who are really in their head, it's hard to do those things because, for instance, if I'm like sitting in meditation, I'm not doing anything, then like all the anxious thoughts are like snowballing all together. And then I'm like getting more anxious, but I'm sitting there thinking about all these things that I have to do. And then when I come out of the meditation, I was like more anxious than when I went into the meditation. So I'm like, this is not working for me. So I developed this thing called a guided gratitude meditation, which combines the principles in neuroscience, which I just explained, with some principles in spirituality.
Okay.
I wanted to get into a side note about spirituality, but I'll do that another time. And so basically what I do is if I'm feeling really anxious about something, and viewers can do this like today, you can do it right now about anything that you're feeling anxious about. If you encounter something today that you're feeling anxious about, you can do it immediately. Like for instance, if I'm saying, I said I was nervous before coming on this interview. I can breathe in, and I did this in the car coming over.
Okay, so breathe in.
Breathing in. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share something I'm passionate about. Breathing out. I release any fears of messing things up. Breathing in. I'm grateful that I'm able to recognize my weaknesses and that I have the ability to do something about them. Breathing out. I release the expectation of myself to be perfect.
I love that. So you breathe in what it is that you're grateful for, and it's basically you're breathing out the negatives that
you're letting it go.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I mean, this is just my technique.
Nobody feels good. So good. I mean, I was just taking up your gratitude, the things you're grateful for, and I felt so good.
But that's what works, because even if I do it situationally, so that when I'm out of the meditation, I have some more context. But even if you think of something that's not directly related to what you're feeling anxious about, it works because it's just a chemical reaction.
And then your brain goes somewhere else.
No, I felt it just now.
Your brain goes somewhere else, but part of your brain is stimulated that produces serotonin, which makes you feel calm and relaxed and good.
Okay, very interesting.
Come do it again.
Just so you guys know. I developed this for myself because this is what works for me, and I have a free download on my website, which teaches people how to do it and walks them through it. There's a free download which is 1 day, and then there's also like a 5-day guided one which can teach you how to do it on your own. It guides you through certain things, like every day has a different theme, and so it's KrystalChong.com. So you can go there and you can check it out.
And do the free one, and if you want, you can
get the...
But even if not, just try what we just did today on your own for something. And remember, it's not just, be grateful for something. It's change the actual chemical reaction in your body. Just like you take medicine, you can create your own medicine by choosing the thoughts that you're having.
Listen, Krystal, you're making this very practical and very real for me. Because like you said, I mean...
I love to hear that!
I grew up, your parents like, you need to be grateful because so many people don't have what you have. And whatever, be grateful and be thankful. And I do practice, having this gratitude journal. But now that you make it scientific for me, which is if you do it, it releases
all kinds of scientific stuff. It makes it more believable.
It's more believable.
It's like they would always say your tongue is basically very powerful, and based off what it is that you said, usually when you go, don't speak negative things over your life, and so on. But when it is that you realize when you speak it into being, it helps you to be more grateful and put it in more into action of what it is that you want to do. And that's the reason why some people even write down things that they want to accomplish. And it helps. It helps.
That works. Are you going to take us back through it, or you have another one to teach us before time runs out?
I wanted to leave everybody with one thought. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Give it to us.
It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Be kind. For everyone you meet is going through a battle that you have no idea about. And I love you. Have a good day.
All right. So you heard that thought. Remember it, but she's going to take us back through that
meditation.
Gratitude.
The gratitude. Right.
Okay.
Same, because that was powerful for me just now.
So, close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Sit up straight in a comfortable position.
Okay.
Relax the muscles on your face. Breathing in, I inhale love. Breathing out, I share kindness with the world. Breathing in, I'm grateful for the people who love me. Breathing out, I share my love and well wishes with them. Breathing in, I am grateful for my abilities and my potential in the future. Breathing out, I release being hard on myself for my challenges. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, I am so grateful for all that I have been given. Breathing out, I'm excited about sharing my gifts with the world. And slowly turn your lips up to smile. And open your eyes.
Oh my God.
I was like, turn my lips up. I was like, do like a pout, like, what's turn your lips up? But it makes sense. Corner of your lips. Corner. I was like,
but it made you laugh, and that's a good way to end it. You know what also helps? Okay. Sometimes if you're feeling sad and you just bust up into a fake laugh, and it works. Yeah. Because you're also doing the same thing. You're stimulating parts of your brain that are happy, that are producing.
I do that all the time.
Can we end with a big fake laugh, all of us?
Yeah.
2, 3.
We take a break. We have more cinema centers when we come back.
Ain't no holler back girl.